UFC on Fox 4. This is the predictions. Let's first start saying that seems like a pretty interesting card, some interesting matchups. Probably see a little bit more than you would normally see in a UFC fight. They try to really bring it when they put it on Fox for the purpose of big mainstreaming and all. So you should expect a lot of knockouts, a lot of good fights. That's what at least what we all hope for. So let's first start off with Joe Lauzon versus Jamie Varner. Both of these guys are really good fighters. Lauzon, with his reach and, kind of lanky guy. Then Jamie Varner, his wrestling is pretty excellent. I just see that in this department, I think the wrestling is going to overtake Joe's any other type of opposition that he has, or any other threats that he has for, that's a tier above Varner. I think the wrestling will cancel it out, and I think the wrestling will be the edge of this fight. So I would say that this fight is probably going to go to a decision. Varner. We have our next fight, which is Travis Browne versus Ben Rothwell. Travis Browne, as you know, is on, I think he's 4-0. And then we have Ben Rothwell, he just came off of his win. He just came off of off a comeback win off of, what's the guy's name? He was a young guy, but sorry about that, guys. But he was a young guy. He came back and he knocked him out. I just don't believe that he's going to be able to do the same thing to Travis Browne. He's just gonna. I think that Travis Browne is gonna keep his train going to his undefeated status, and I think he's going to also be a big contender in the heavyweight division. You may not see it right now, but I'm telling you, I think that this guy's going to be at that top 1 through 5 in the division. So I have Travis Browne winning by TKO, 3rd round. Lyoto Machida versus Ryan Bader. Well, this is a typical striker versus wrestler. Lyoto Machida obviously is a very defensive karate guy. He's a mixed martial artist, but that's his basis, which is karate. All of his stances are pretty far back. A really defensive fighter. Really great at keeping wrestlers away from his bottom half of his body. Also, very great takedown defense. Ryan Bader, on the other hand, I feel like all he has is the wrestling. He's been trying to show us that he does have other abilities other than wrestling by throwing hands, but he hasn't been too promising in that area. He's basically has failed against Tito Ortiz. He's obviously had his run-in with John Jones. And I think that in this situation, he's going to get another taste of defeat, which will be in Lyoto Machida. Lyoto Machida just seems to do very well against wrestlers, and I don't see this time being any different. So I have Lyoto Machida winning this one by 2nd round TKO. Next fight, which is the main event, Shogun versus Brandon Vera. I don't know how this match came about. It had to be because there was an injury, I believe. But regardless, we have Shogun versus Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera has been, a mediocre top 20 maybe, or like 11 through 20, I should say, fighter. He's been getting beat. I don't even know if they fired. I thought they fired him, and then he went to do some smaller shows. He must have won some fights there to jump back on to the UFC. But then we have Shogun, who just came off of that spectacular fight with Dan Henderson. Man, was that a great fight. And even though he lost that fight, that showed a lot of heart and will on his part. And I knew Shogun would gain some fans. And this one should be a fairly easy one for Shogun, because I believe that he has better striking, better everything, and he's on top of that, he's more experienced than Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera, he's just a mediocre fighter, and when you're going against these top elite fighters, being mediocre just isn't going to cut it. And Shogun definitely is a level above, multiple levels above Brandon Vera, and I don't see why this won't be an easy win for Shogun to pull out a decision, because that's what I believe is going to happen. I would love to see a knockout, but I just don't. You really don't see that many knockouts from Shogun anymore, other than the Machida fight. But other than that, he really doesn't do the Pride days with the knees and everything else. So I see him winning this one by decision. Once again, guys, this is my review for UFC Fox 4. If you guys like my video, please comment, subscribe, rate as usual. This is MMA Fight Nation. Please follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys on the review of UFC Fox 4. Peace.